beautiful live pictures of the different parts of the country. It's all joy, all elation, and all beauty as most of the Kenyans are excited and are eagerly waiting to cross to the next year, year 2025. It is the last day of year 2024, the 31st day. And of course, we know that we had so much plans coming into the year, but then of course, here we are. The most important thing that we remain grateful for is that we have gotten to this very point, and we certainly hope to get to the next year all jazzed up, to get to face it, and as well, just make the most of it. It's my hope that you've had a beautiful, beautiful day on this eve of the new year. Yes, I almost said Christmas because it's been a Christmas season, and I am here to make sure that you are updated as to what is happening in the world of news right here in the country and beyond. Welcome on board. My name is Alela, and of course our sign language interpreter on the other side is none other than Rhoda Nyamai. We'll be steering the ship all the way to around 10. We have so much lined up for you. Definitely just keeping track as to what is happening on the different parts of the country, and equally just painting a picture of what the year has been for us as TV47, but as well just taking note on the steps of politics right here, even as the cases of abductions continue. So that and much more, here are the highlights. Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja fails to appear in court today, despite a court order issued yesterday for him to appear and produce 6 abductees.
I believe if the Inspector General wants those guys here, he will bring them.
As former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called for Kanja's resignation, implicating him in the ongoing abductions.
Kama Bwana Kanja unasema polisi are not the ones doing the abductions, and you don't seem to know who is doing it, and you are not able to stop it, you have no business being the Inspector General of Police.
And Busia Senator Okia Omtata and 22 other activists granted a cash bail of 1,000 shillings each after the court rejected the prosecution's request to detain them for an additional 14 days.
To 1,000, each one of you.
How has your year been so far? Are you feeling frustrated or angry? Tonight we present an unconventional solution to that, breaking your feelings away. And of course, beginning on this very point, we all understand that the State New Year's dinner is playing out at the Kisii, that is a county lodge, and we therefore cross over to hear what it is that the head of state has to say in his message for the people of Kenya as we come back to more stories.
Promote broader compliance with our civic obligations to pay taxes whenever they fall due. Under the difficult conditions we all faced, implementing these necessary and overdue measures caused much discomfort and sometimes a lot of contention. At the heart of the ensuing dissent lay a demand for a robust conversation about the stewardship of public resources and, by extension, the proper exercise of public authority. You, the people, made it clear to us as leaders that compliance with revenue measures must be accompanied by a stronger commitment on our part to deliver greater transparency and efficiency in the administration of all public resources. You demanded a more thorough national conversation to address the perennial inclusiveness question in order to reflect equity and social justice as primary considerations in governance, government plans, and government actions. Despite these challenges, we have worked tirelessly to fulfill the pledges and commitments of our governing mandate. We are making steady progress in feeding the nation, with productivity rising across key crop and livestock value chains, progressively enhancing our food security objectives. Similarly, we have deployed technology to digitize and automate the provision of services to the public, significantly increasing dividends in terms of service delivery and enhanced revenue collection. The universal healthcare coverage is finally here with us, and we are working round the clock to address various hiccups in its rollout that are to be expected in a program of the magnitude and ambition of Taifa Care. Together with the counties, we have employed community health promoters to ensure health services are accessible and convenient for all Kenyans, especially at the grassroots. With the rollout of the construction of 200 markets across the country, our marketplaces are developing into safe and dignified working environments for hustlers, complemented by ICT hubs in constituencies and wards, which are becoming essential nodes in our digital economy. The Hustler Fund has launched an enhanced facility aimed at transitioning borrowers in good standing into more robust financing to promote the growth of micro, small, and medium enterprises. We have constructed thousands of classrooms and other facilities across the country to expand school infrastructure. Additionally, we have employed and trained more teachers to support the transition to the competence-based curriculum and ensure the seamless progression of learners into junior secondary school. We are addressing the chronic higher education financing challenges that had paralyzed learning, research, and development at the peak of our education and training ecosystem. Our goal is to make higher education, particularly university education, more inclusive and ensuring that no one and no learner and no child is left behind. Our country's network of transport and communication infrastructure continues to evolve rapidly to serve the needs of a demanding, dynamic, and rapidly modernizing economy, ensuring it remains efficient and competitive. Institutional improvements and incentives are attracting investors to our land, driving industrialization, expanding manufacturing, and enhancing our export capacity. Ladies and gentlemen, the houses, the affordable houses, are finally here. Our affordable housing program now includes 873,000 houses in its pipeline at various stages of development across different parts of the country. Among these, the inaugural 8,000 units are nearing readiness for handover and occupation. This program alone has contributed 200,000 jobs to the 1 million new jobs created through intentional, consistent, and strategic efforts. To ensure young people have opportunities to actualize their talents, apply their skills, and drive economic growth, we have pursued every promising intervention, from the National Urban Climate Resilience Program, also known as Climate Works, to over 10 labor mobility agreements that provide qualified citizens with access to employment opportunities abroad. We have utilized every available mechanism to support our young people's aspirations. We have also made undeniable progress in securing the nation. Consistent investment in expanding capabilities of our security services, equipping them with efficient, modern tools, and empowering them through technology has significantly enhanced our capacity to combat crime and ensure public safety. The strides we have made against terrorism, banditry, cattle rustling, cybercrime, and other offenses will not only be sustained, but will continue to be enhanced going into the future. It is important to acknowledge that in the process of securing the nation, our security services often interact with citizens exercising their democratic freedoms and fundamental rights. They must continuously strike a delicate balance between delivering robust security responses and enabling the enjoyment of these rights and freedoms. In situations involving serious threats to public order, human life, and safety, this balance can be particularly challenging. And knowing this, criminal elements often seek to exploit protests and demonstrations to further their schemes. It cannot be denied, ladies and gentlemen, that there has been instances of excessive and extrajudicial actions by members of the security services. At the same time, it must also be acknowledged that due process is underway in appropriate institutions to ensure accountability. That said, it is crucial to remember that every freedom has its limits, and that public safety and order must always supersede the desire of unchecked liberty. We must ensure that our pursuit of rights and freedoms does not compromise our collective or individual safety, nor should we allow criminals to exploit constitutional rights to harm and destroy other people. In the spirit of fostering a candid national conversation, I urge every critical stakeholder to reflect deeply on the failures that have led people to adopt radical, individualistic, and self-centered interpretations of rights and freedoms, interpretations that often seem fundamentally opposed to the rights of others and the collective good of citizens. This tendency to promote a definition of rights and freedoms that undermine democracy and the public interest reflect a broader collapse of our value system and a serious strain on our moral fabric. I also believe that this disregard for moral values, including compassion, responsibility, and decency, contributes to violent crimes, such as what we have seen with femicide, perpetrated by men against women who would otherwise they would be loving. These are clear signals that our moral fabric is at risk of decay, exacerbated by various factors, including the manipulation of digital technology, particularly social media, to amplify antisocial behavior and erode moral values. The maintenance of our social fabric and the promotion of a strong value system is a collective responsibility we cannot run away from. This task has always required and will continue to require the involvement of a wider spectrum of society agencies and institutions, with a family unit being the most critical. The broader community, faith-based organizations, the education system, the law and order institution exist to support and complement the family's fundamental role in nurturing compassionate, responsible citizens who are empowered to propel our nation into the future. As a society, we have a legitimate expectation that the next generation, benefiting from the accumulation of socio-economic, scientific, and technological advancement, will bring greater energy, better ideas, clearer vision, and a stronger commitment to our shared values. We should be humane, we should be responsible, and well-grounded citizens whose actions promote unity, patriotism, democracy, and the rule of law, and our rights and freedoms, rather than sabotaging them. I have previously extended an invitation to all stakeholders in their diversity to join the national conversation and explore the best ways to implement an all-of-society strategy and approach to counter moral decay and reset our nation's moral compass. As parents, myself included, we must never walk away from our children nor abandon them to the vagaries of our time. This is necessary. This is essential, as all the transformations we are undertaking today will mean little if our young people are left without sound guidance, moral mentorship, and ethical support. The broad-based bipartisan national conversation we are having with leaders from various political formations seeks to extend the principle of inclusiveness to its widest possible reach without compromising the fundamental values of competitive democracy and diversity in viewpoints. Our goal is to enhance, not diminish, our identity as a free, open, democratic society founded on constitutionalism and the rule of law. We are making meaningful progress, which, if sustained, will establish us as a mature democracy, firmly anchored in a sustainable political culture. In 2024, our nation faced serious challenges and great difficulties. Yet, we did more than endure. We stood together in unity, worked with determination, and overcame all the obstacles. Because we are Kenyans, an indomitable, courageous, and enterprising people, unafraid of hard work, because we are resilient champions who strive to win and face every challenge with dedication and stamina, we achieved progress despite significant difficulties. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have succeeded in laying a solid foundation for even faster progress in the coming year. The Kenyan shilling, which began the year on a subdued note, has appreciated significantly, strengthening from Kenya shillings 165 to the dollar in February 2024 to Kenya shillings 129 to the dollar today, making the Kenya shilling one of the world's best performing currencies. Inflation, a key indicator of economic health, has fallen from 9.6% in September 2022 to 2.7% in October 2024, the lowest level in nearly 2 decades. Meanwhile, foreign exchange reserves have surged by $2.4 billion to reach $9.5 billion, providing 5 months of import cover and insulating our economy from external shocks. Our economy continues to outpace global trends, growing at 5.6% in 2023, positioning us among the world's fastest growing economies. In light of the outcome of our collective determination and efforts, we have every reason to approach the new year, with optimism and a renewed commitment, not only to work harder and achieve greater progress, but also to transform ourselves and turn every challenge into an opportunity to do more and to do so better. In 2025, the seeds we have patiently and carefully planted will continue to germinate and grow. The progress we have made has set us firmly on the path of rapid and sustainable growth. As a result, we can anticipate stronger economic performance, more jobs for our young people, and higher incomes for our farmers and entrepreneurs. Additionally, we expect that in 2025, more investments will mature leading to a considerable expansion of our manufacturing sector and an increase in our exports. The reforms we have implemented in both basic and higher education will also come to fruition, providing new momentum and focus for the entire education sector in 2025. Additionally, Taifa Care will approach optimal performance, offering significant relief to households by reducing the burden of healthcare costs and delivering enhanced benefits through an efficient, inclusive, and high-quality public healthcare system. As we speak, subsidized fertilizer is already in stores waiting for farmers. As you all know, in the past, farmers used to wait for fertilizer. This year, fertilizer is waiting for farmers in the stores. Next year, we plan to achieve higher yields from every crop, ensuring even greater rewards for our hardworking farmers and food security for all Kenyans. Additionally, we aim to free our livestock from deadly infectious diseases, alleviating the fears of pastoralists and stock keepers from devastating outbreaks. This is why the nationwide livestock vaccination campaign will be a game changer. Unlike segmented vaccination efforts that left some areas unprotected and vulnerable to outbreaks, thereby risking reinfection in vaccinated regions, this voluntary, comprehensive approach will eradicate these threats comprehensively once and for all. Mark my words, I said voluntary. In 2025, we will be busier at school and at work, better nourished, safer, more secure, and with more money in our pockets. We will hold productive national conversations to empower our young people as responsible custodians of our shared aspirations and to solidify our state as a robust and secure democracy. We will continue to work hard and deliver greater progress, becoming better equipped to tackle our challenges. In 2025, I will have the honor of handing over the first keys to completed affordable housing units to hardworking men and women from all walks of life. At last, the transformation you entrusted us to lead will take tangible shape, and the fruits of our collective labor will be undeniable. We will continue to work for you and to deliver for you. Let us therefore submit our hopes and aspirations to the Almighty God of all creation, so that together, in unity and with shared determination, we may embrace the new year and work towards achieving the Kenya we all want, which is now well within sight. Thank you very much. May God bless our great country, Kenya. May God bless you all. Happy New Year. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much.
While President William Ruto's end-year speech and equally the New Year's speech welcoming the country to 2025, highlighting a raft of matters or a couple of matters as to what the Kenya Kwanza government has achieved for the nation, as well speaking about the affordable housing and the progress, saying that come 2025, then he will be handing over the first batch of keys, of course, highlighting the success to that. You know, speaking much about citizen rights and how we need to work around social fabric of the nation, as well as the social values, and of course, as though to speak about the concerns that have been playing out in the country as to the abductions and, of course, the response thereafter, equally calling upon Kenyans to remain steadfast and congratulating them for the hard work, the resilience, saying that we are committed to make it even better. And of course, speaking about the rates of inflation and how it has gone down compared to 2022 at 9.6 and of course to 2 point something in 2024, that is by 2024 October, and as well congratulating Kenyans for their hard work and resistance, saying that coming next year we will be busier than usual because it will be about schoolwork and work and so much more. Of course, we continue to listen to that and of course just get to hear what is playing out at the Kisii State Lodge for you, just so you are updated. But at this very point, we now go back to the stories that we have prepared for you. And Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja failed to appear in court today, defying a court order that was accorded to him yesterday that directed him to produce 6 abducted persons. Hopeful family members who had been clinging to the possibility of reuniting with their loved ones were left disappointed and distressed, and the court has now summoned Kanja to appear on January the 8th to account for the whereabouts of the 6 missing individuals. Our reporter Sheila Chelangat with that.
Gerald Mwangi, father to Billy Mwangi, who was abducted on the 21st of December in Embu, walked into court today a hopeful man, as this presented a possible chance of reuniting with his son.
I was even praying God that when I'm coming on the way, but they cannot see my son. I can only see guys who look like my son, but he's not here. Where is my son, Your Honor?
It is the pain that only a parent can understand. Baba Billy, unable to hold back his tears, desperate to know about his son's whereabouts, this representing the raw emotions and agony of the families of those missing to date.
Who took my son and where is my son? We have taken a lot of medicine for blood pressure. Yeah, I have also developed blood pressure.
Billy is one of the 6 individuals who were abducted, and the court had ordered their production in court today, whether alive or dead, following a habeas corpus application.
So when I look around the courtyard, I cannot see my son. I thought he is here.
Their desperation to be with their kin might, however, continue to prolong, with a failure by IG Douglas Kanja to honor the court summons today, as well as a directive for the abductees to be produced in court by 11 a.m. today.
The question is simple. Do you have them? And if so, produce them. And if you don't have them, the answer is simple.
So we are now dealing with a compounded violation, and we are now in the realm of contempt of court.
Today, I believe if the Inspector General wants those guys here, he will bring them.
The court now directing for IG Kanja to avail himself in court on the 8th of January to explain the whereabouts of the 6 abductees.
So there is a consequence of contempt of court. This court will not hesitate next week if these persons are not brought before this court or have not already been brought to site.
The agony of the affected families continues to deepen further after IG Kanja failed to avail 6 of the abductees today in court. For now, they hold on to the hope of reuniting with their loved ones on or before the 8th of January. Sheila Chelangat for TV47 at the Milimani Law Courts in Nairobi.
Well, thank you, Sheila, for that. And still at the corridors of justice, Busia Senator Okiya Omtata and 22 other activists have been released on a cash bail of 1,000 shillings each after Milimani Principal Magistrate Rose Ndomi dismissed the prosecution's bid to hold them for an additional 14 days. The magistrate ruled that the prosecution had failed to provide sufficient grounds for their detention. And now the activists were arrested on Monday during protests against the increase in abductions, as Andrin Kilemi details.
A
powerful show of defiance unfolded at the Milimani High Court as the 23 activists, including Busia Senator Okiya Omtata, erupted into chants of victory ahead of their case hearing. The activists were arrested Monday as they protested against the rising cases of abductions and enforced disappearances of government critics.
Nobody can argue against the right under Article 37 to rightful. Kenyans have a right to demonstrate, to picket, to petition whoever in a peaceful manner, Your Honor.
Earlier, the state prosecutors had requested to detain the activists for an additional 14 days. Prosecutors sought more time to allow for thorough investigations into allegations of incitement and disobedience of the law, contrary to Section 96 of the Penal Code.
There's nothing like issue stringent conditions. On what? There are no charges before you. Just a request for the police to spend New Year with them, and they are not their relatives. They are not their relatives. They've already wasted a whole day where they could have been doing other things.
In her ruling, however, Milimani Principal Magistrate Rose Ndombi denied the request, saying there were no reasons warranting further detention. As such, Ndombi ordered their immediate release, setting the bond at 50,000 shillings with a surety of a cash bail of 1,000 shilling for each individual.
The plea that has been made by counsel for the respondents, I will review the cash bail to 1,000 each one of you. For the respondents, you'll be reminded that you'll be required to attend court as and when you're required to do so. Failure to do that, a warrant of arrest will be issued and other consequences will follow.
Meanwhile, the court mandated that the accused mobile phones be retained in police custody until the case is mentioned on January 21st. Andreen Kilemi, TV 47.
Thank you, Andreen. And from the courts, let's pay some bills and then we come back with more stories. Welcome back to the broadcast. And now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has demanded the resignation of Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, blaming him for the escalating cases of abductions across the country. Speaking during a funeral service in Murang'a, Gachagua criticized the National Police Service for failing to protect Kenyans and accused the IG of turning a blind eye to the plight of families that are grieving their missing loved ones. Other leaders have also condemned the abductions and called on the government to act swiftly to bring the youth back home. George Maringa with that.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has continued with his onslaught on government, this time going for the National Police Service. When he arrived in Murang'a County for a burial service, accompanied by his wife, Pastor Dorcas, and a host of other leaders, Gachagua launched his ammunition on Inspector General of the National Police Service, Douglas Kanja.
Kama Bwana Kanja unasema polisi are not the ones doing the abductions, and you don't seem to know who is doing it, and you are not able to stop it, you have no business being the Inspector General of Police. Na mimi nikushauri wewe kwa sababu ni mtu ya nyumbani. Wewe Bwana Kanja unatumika vibaya. Your predecessor Japheth Kome, mtoto wetu kutoka pale Meru, alitumiwa vibaya wakati ya Gen Z.
Gachagua has also condemned the actions of the police and special units for allegedly holding the government critics incommunicado, demanding their release unconditionally.
People cannot stay in suspense, and then you get leaders, court poets and masters of bloodshed to mock the people of Kenya about abduction, talking so casually about it like it's a joke. Na watu pale napiga makofi. Na ndio hiyo maneno mimi ilinishida. Hiyo ya kuwa kwaya ya praise and worship. Hiyo mimi nilishindwa na hiyo. Na munisamehe.
Following the increased kidnapping cases in the country, allies of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua have also said that the government must take action against these actions.
Tunataka watoto wa wamama waachiliwe wakuje nyumbani kama hatujavuka mwaka mpya. Ati message yetu ya His Excellency the President William Samoei, tunataka watoto wa wenyewe waachiliwe with immediate.
Na ni vibaya kuteka vijana nyara. Rais kuweka ahadi hiyo haihitaji pesa zozote. Kwa hivyo hutasema kuna pesa. Tafadhali, kwa sababu wewe ni mzazi, waacha hawa watoto ikifikia jioni, kwa sababu uko na nguvu, waachiliwe wajiunge na familia zao kama vile utakavyofurahia mwaka mpya na familia yako.
Speaking during the funeral service of the 4 children who died following a fire tragedy which was held in the Gakoigo grounds in Maragua constituency, the leaders have also called on government agencies to take action through legal systems instead of using kidnappings and abductions, adding that it is against the law.
Boys ambao unaombea, boys ambao unatetewa, wanakandamizwa kwa sababu ya kuji-express. This is a democratic country. Na in a democratic country we have the right of expression. Vijana wetu waki-express, tafadhali msiwashike, msiwanyanyase.
Tuweke amani, na ukiona mtu anavuruga amani, si tuko na simu? Tunapiga picha, tunarekodi video, tunaweka wapi? Kwa social media, si ndio? That is the only way we can win the war that is going on in this country.
Gachagua has also emphasized that they will continue to condemn these actions among other illegal acts until they stop, adding that the families of the abductees are facing fear and grief. The former DP now saying that the government should not divert the attention of Kenyans through innuendos and give the parents of the abducted young men peace of mind by releasing them today.
Hii mambo ya chajo mnalazimishia watu. Manyumba mnalazimisha. Mambo ya shift mnalazimisha. Kama kitu ni mzuri, kwa nini unalazimisha? Why are you forcing people? If something is good, why do you have to force it down on the throat of the people of Kenya? Tungeuliza Rais to live up to your words last Friday. Make sure, Mr. President, before we go to the new year, those children, if they are alive, they be released to their parents.
The leaders have also vowed unwavering support for Gachagua in his political direction in his efforts to defend the rights and safety of citizens. George Maringa, TV47, Nairobi.
The Commission on Revenue Allocation has submitted a proposal for the fourth revenue allocation basis to both the Senate and the National Assembly. This new framework aims to distribute funds based on two main objectives, that is, to ensure equitable service delivery across counties and to reduce economic disparities while promoting development. Paul Kirobi reports that if approved, the proposal could see some counties lose funding, that is depending on the parameters used, such as population and geographical location.
After collecting statements from various stakeholders, the public and the county governments, the Commission on Revenue Allocation has now presented the fourth basis of revenue allocation to the Senate and the National Assembly. This fourth basis was informed by actual expenditures of county governments, availability, credibility, and the need to ensure that the revenue sharing formula among county governments remains stable and predictable in the medium term. The proposal was created on recommendation, which provides for an equal minimum allocation across all counties, using population and geographical size of a county as the key transfer parameters. For instance, in order to share revenue equitably to facilitate service delivery, the Commission weighed in on these issues: population, which was given 42%, equal share 22%, and geographical size 9%. In order to share revenue to address economic disparities and promote development, the Commission weighed in poverty index at 14%, while income distance at 13%. Parliament is set to approve the fourth basis for revenue allocation, which will take effect for the next 5 years, running until 2030. This decision comes despite concerns from some governors and MPs who argue that certain counties will lose up to 500 million shillings compared to the previous third basis allocations. For example, Mandera County has historically received significant funding under the previous allocations. Wafula Chebukati states that fourth basis is designed to ensure county governments have the resources needed to implement development projects.
And statistical soundness of data and the need to ensure that the revenue sharing among county governments remains stable and predictable in the medium term. The framework for sharing revenue among the county governments is based on two objectives: to share revenues equitably and to facilitate service delivery and to address economic disparities and promote development among county governments.
However, the Commission has raised alarms about the delayed disbursement of funds to county governments, a situation that has already hindered progress on key development projects. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, here is why you need to take caution. The Ministry of Health has raised alarm over the rising cases of mpox infections in Kenya, identifying 12 counties as high-risk areas. Mary Muthoni, the Principal Secretary for Public Health and Professional Standards, has described the situation as unprecedented health challenge. Now, speaking during a visit to Kisumu to assess community health initiatives, Muthoni emphasized the urgent need to strengthen border surveillance and improve tracking systems to contain the virus's spread. She highlighted truck drivers as a particular vulnerable group that is due to extensive travel routes, which increase the risk of exposure. And according to the ministry's latest data, Kenya has recorded 31 mpox cases. Among these, 28 individuals have recovered, 2 are still hospitalized, and 1 fatality has been reported.
Is still here with us, and I say so because I have seen a spike in terms of numbers in the last 2 weeks. I have received a total number of 335 samples. Remember, there's a difference between a sample and a confirmed case. A sample is simply taken to the lab, and when we confirm a case, that is when we say that someone is sick. We are going to enhance our communication once more in our traditional media, social media, and any kind medium of communication that may be able to reach our communities as soon as expected.
Ladies and gentlemen, breathe in, breathe out. Just how has the year been for you so far? Do you have pent-up anger and frustration? Imagine this, for a fee, you get to break cups, plates or glass bottles or even smash watermelons in a controlled environment. Well, this is a novel stress relief, which is being accepted by mostly young people in the country. And as Stanley Nyaringita reports, mental health professionals advise that this form of relief should not be a substitute to therapy. Take a look.
It's a typical Friday. The usual traffic and construction noise fills the air here in Zimmerman, Roysambu constituency, Nairobi County. However, this clat is blocked off in Nassim Kadhi's head as she looks at her phone in search for the healing room, where the first of a kind Ridge Room is offered. In the Ridge Room, one is able to break and hurl crockery, disposed electronics, carpets, as well as fruits in a controlled environment to release anger and stress. The concept, which originated in Japan in the early 2000s for stressed workers, has quickly gained traction in different parts of the world, with Kenya being one of the slow entrants of it. After the long wait of seeking to release her emotions physically,
hello. Hi. Is this the healing room? Okay. So welcome. We first sign in.
Nkatha walks into the reception with her face lit up. She'll, however, have to wait for a few more minutes before breaking anything, as explained by Irene Omboi, a counseling psychologist and the owner of the healing room.
So what should I expect?
You should expect feeling relieved. That's what I can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just before Nkatha gets into the therapy room, she picks a switch from the small boxes depending on how she feels. Inside the therapy session, which should take a maximum of 10 minutes, the psychologist assesses the mental state of the person to ascertain no self-harm is done during the distraction experience.
I have to sign the consent and liability form, what it entails. It explains like what is a Ridge Room and the purpose of the Ridge Room itself, and it emphasizes that the Ridge Room is not a substitute to therapy. Okay. If you're going through a lot of things, you'll have to see a therapist. And before now we continue, is there a possibility that you're going through some things, and have you been to therapy before?
Yeah.
Okay, how was it for you?
It was good.
It was helpful? Okay.
Wambui's advice to Nkatha is a reflection of the broader mental health crisis in Kenya, where the national prevalence of common mental disorders stands at about 10.3%. Furthermore, data from the Ministry of Health indicates that 42% of individuals seeking primary care have severe depression. Due to the intense breaking of sharp objects, Nkatha is required to wear protective gear before beginning her session. Here, the relief sessions are offered in different packages that range from as low as 1,500 Kenyan shillings to 7,500 Kenyan shillings, depending on how many things you are breaking or smashing.
We have a maximum of 5 people. I know the room is large, but we would also want like people to have like their space of moving around. If there's someone who wants to scream, they can scream inside within the group. If there's someone who wants to break down, they can have like space also to break down. So a maximum of 5.
Despite covering almost all her face, Nkatha's eyes can't hide her excitement to get into this blue-lit room with her to-be victims laid on the stools. The walls of the room are covered by writings and signatures of people who have been here for 2 months since it was opened. For her session, Nkatha will be breaking 3 soda bottles, a plate, a cup, and to top off the experience with smashing a watermelon, as music of her choice plays on full blast. Armed with a wooden bat, Nkatha aims at the first bottle and lets out a scream. The satisfying sound of shattering glass filling the air as she does this repetitively for about 5 minutes. Was it worth it?
This, I feel it was. I feel like I had a lot of pent up, I don't want to say anger per se, but pent up something, you know, that I didn't know of. But the minute I started smashing, everything came, and yeah, I feel lighter. I feel, yeah, it feels nice. This can be a double-ended sword. It can be good, and it can also be a bad way of relieving things. So what we're doing here is something we call exposure therapy. And exposure therapy needs to be controlled. Traditional therapy that I do really helps. It has helped a lot of people. But now sasa shida inakuja because there's a lot of stigma, there's a lot of discrimination, there's a lot of mtu akifikiria tunaenda therapy because some people don't understand like the foundation and what goes on therapy. Inakuanga ile ya nikae chini nilipe mtu niongeleshe tu mtu hivyo, you see, because they don't have like the whole understanding of what therapy is, how it works. So like now this is now another place. Yeah.
Mimi naitwa Joseph na nafanya kazi ya miwa. Hii 2024 hakunipeleka vizuri, but niko tu vile vile hapo katikati.
Naitwa Simon. Mimi nafanyanga hii kazi ya boda boda hapa Mirema, na sasa tunaweza sema hii mwaka haijakuwa mzuri kwa sababu biashara mingi zimeenda chini. Hata watu wenye tunabebanga wengine wanaanza kutembea miguu. Kwa hivyo watu wako chini financially. Kwa hivyo tungeomba serikali iangalie maslahi ya wananchi ili at least hata sisi tunapata riziki. So
traditionally in Kenya, it is often joked how 31st of December is reserved for anyone who would like to scream without any prejudice on them.
Anger is an energy. Most people don't know this, but it is an energy. And it needs to be let out in one way or another. So the more you pile it up, the worse it gets. So releasing, that's why you hear when some people say, when you're angry, just scream. Every end of year, when you're 31st, it's because of the things that have happened during the whole of the year, and you're looking for one way to channel everything that has been happening. So hii rage room ni ya kukusaidia. Unaona ukisikia like hapo uko like hii mwaka nimekuwa overwhelmed, acha niende ni scream yangu. Hata kama hutakuja therapy, you'll find like there is comfort in you letting out.
With the steady rise of rage rooms in the country, young people are hopeful that this trend will spark broader conversations about mental health and the right systems for them. Stanley Nyaringita, TV47, Nairobi.
What to say? The many times that someone has felt like just screaming. Anyway, that's a beautiful piece, but equally something that certainly works for the few people who have tried it. But as they say, let it not be mistaken for therapy. Now, moving forward, have you ever wondered what it takes to bring the day's events into your living room every evening? Today, we are peeling back the curtain to reveal the buzzing world behind your TV screens with some of the uncut details of what transpires before you get the final story. Micah Gungu with that piece.
The process of producing television news is a ballet of coordination, precision and speed, where every second counts and every detail matters. Today, we are peeling back the curtain to reveal the buzzing world behind your TV screen. A world where editorial decisions, technical expertise, and the relentless pace of news all play a vital role in crafting the stories that inform our society.
Kimwana. Nimestama kama lizimotuko.
Ndivyo, si ndio? Ndizo. Heri kinga kuliko tiba, kula nyama salama. My friend.
Under the theme, boma langu, nyumba langu.
These are the uncut pieces of our daily routine before you consume the final story, as they happened in 2024. Let's begin with Ann Odeda. Ann, umeiva au unaungua kwa jua?
Nisiungue jamani.
Okay. What strategies were in place for this year's World AIDS Day?
This year's National World AIDS Day theme is It's a Race Against Time, and the focus will shift towards the country's future goals in the fight against HIV with new strategies in place. The focus with new strategies in place.
Ulikuwa umemaliza?
The urgency of what? Na nimemaliza, imagine.
Haya, maliza basi. Kwa nini unasahau mistari?
Nikianza kuongea inasahau. Hata unaweza enda kwanza.
Elizabeth Mutuku, to whom did you want to say hi before you signed off?
Acha kwanza nisalimie president.
Ngoja kidogo.
After President William Ruto has pronounced himself on the conflict of interest bill, which he says will facilitate much in fighting corruption, the march has raised the... No.
For Mutuku, it was a bad day in office until ikakataa.
After President William Ruto has pronounced himself on the conflict of interest bill, the march awaited is to see whether...
Kasongo, yeah.
On the other side, it was meditation moment for Mzee wa Kazi Apollo Kamau. What concerns does the president have, Apollo?
By cancelling the Adani deals, President William Ruto has confirmed he has a listening ear. Tuende.
But huu uso wako ni kama umekaa fogodhari.
Na uso hujakaa fogodhari.
What's up, bro?
Oh, nimeruka line. The country's 61st Mashujaa Day celebrations is not only crucial to residents of Kwale County who will showcase the best the county has to offer, but also to President William Ruto's administration, which is drumming up support for affordable housing program under the theme Boma langu, nyumba langu. Nyumba yangu, boma yangu, mimi ni shujaa. Apollo Kamau, TV. Hizi ni bangi gani sasa? Hizi ni bangi gani sasa? PTC ukipitisha take moja ni hivi.
On the same pace, Lennox Sengre, sema rangi na mavazi ya kupendeza.
Rangi na mavazi ya kupendeza ndiyo yaliyosheheni katika maadhimisho ya sherehe za ndiyo yaliyosheheni, si ndio? Yalisheheni katika maadhimisho ya sikukuu ya bwana, hiyo kitu imekataa. Acha niseme anything usikie kama iko sawa.
For Linda Alela, it was a matter of wait and see.
Huku akiahidi kwamba serikali imeweka mikakati kukabiliana ngojea kwanza.
Then what are President William Ruto's concerns?
Huku akiahidi kwamba serikali imeweka mikakati kukabiliana na mauaji holela ya wanawake. Rais Ruto ameitaka.
Then there was this young man from Busia County, Quinto Wafula. What was the difference between mtaa and eneo?
Hii ndio taswira ya hali ilivyo katika mtaa huu. Mtaa ama ni eneo? Ni eneo. Usistop, acha nirudie tu tena. Hii ndio taswira ya hali ilivyo katika eneo hili la Woodley Estate. Wengi ambao wamebomolewa nyumba zao sasa wakilalamika kwamba kubomolewa kwa nyumba hizo kutapoteza urithi wao, kwamba wengi wamekuwa
2024 was not only a challenging year for Duncan Mutua, but also very complicated. He didn't even know what he was saying here.
Msimu uliopita klabu hii ya Kayole Starlets walikuwa na lengo la kupanda kwenye ligi kuu ya soka humu nchini. Msimu huu, baada ya kukosa lengo hilo, msimu huu wamerejea. Nasema nini? Juzi nasema nini?
Okay, speak English. What objective did Kayole Starlets have?
Last season, Kayole Starlets had one objective, to play in the top tier league. That objective, they didn't achieve that objective.
Kabete Polytechnic. Nimestama kama Lizmotuko.
Samina Mohammed, perhaps before you compose yourself, what was your story about? Please.
Huku awamu ya 3 ya zoezi hili liking'oa nanga, swali kuu ni iwepo.
Unajua what my story is about, Shadi?
Na ni kama huna kitu kweli.
Huku awamu ya 3 ya ajira kwa vijana iking'oa nanga, zoezi ambalo limekosolewa na baadhi ya ambao walifika katika shule hii ya Kabete Polytechnic. Sasa kibarua ni kwa Wizara ya Leba.
Sasa Shadi, nikuambie nini? Ni kama sina kitu. Si ndio? Tuzime.
Na nimewasha sema.
Kamuidwa. Moige William, what was the feeling standing at the KICC?
Tulia. Nasikia.
Anyway, it was like someone was admiring you somehow.
No. All right. Is it a race to the bottom or killing the goose that lays the golden eggs? These are just some of the concerns, all right? Is it a race to the bottom or killing the goose that lays the golden eggs? These are just but some of the concerns that Kenyans are raising as the PTC mbele watu ni ngumu. Mtu anapinduka na kuangalia ngaa kutaka na ni mwanaume. Allah.
For Joash Onsare, it was safety first kabla ya tiba.
Wasemao husema heri kinga kuliko tiba, kula nyama salama. My friend, wasemao husema heri kinga kuliko tiba. Msimu huu wa Krismasi na mwaka mpya, kula nyama. Take. After several months of suffering, the fishery it's gone.
Then there was yours truly. This Cabros and landscaping project has attracted a room for landscaping. This Cabros and landscaping project has attracted a room for benchmarking. Now, those are the uncut moments of the unedited, edited, or guy. Those are the uncut moments that come before your screens every day, before they are edited and packaged for your consumption. From TV47 Newsroom, we wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
Yours truly must have had a blast piecing that up together for you. I don't think I'm expected to continue with anything. Allow me to laugh a bit and then come back with more.
Sasa ndio inabamba. Avieta ya Maybet come through. Kuna the biggest multiplier in Kenya. Shinda up to 5 million in seconds. Ndege? Check. Mafuta? Check. Rubani? Wewe ndo utaamua. Uko ready kupepea ujishindie mado? Na hata jiflya we, usitense. Tunakurudishia 5% of your stake. Bado uko sorted. We, peperuka na Avieta on maybets.com. Jishindie mado.
Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 680.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia, pesa inanukia.
Radio 47. Kituo cha watangazaji wenye hai.
Sports News brought to you by Maybets.
Bet bila stake. Predict the outcome of 8 pre-selected games and win up to 100,000 shillings. Only at maybets.com.
So what's in sports? The national football team, Harambee Stars, is aiming for victory at the upcoming Mapinduzi Cup, scheduled to run from January the 3rd to 13th in Zanzibar. Anastasia Mukabi with the details of this, where the 38-man squad led by head coach Francis Kimanzi has been in intensive training ahead of the tournament. Kimanzi emphasized the team's focus on building a solid foundation not only for the Mapinduzi Cup but also for the African Nations Championship that is CHAN. Now the squad includes a mixture of seasoned veterans and promising young talent, undergoing rigorous tactical drills and evaluations to ensure the players are ready to take on the challenge.
So far, we are still in you see the assessment is also a gradual process because every session players look different, depending on the training objective. But what we have now out of the squad of 38, we have something to do there. And the hard work and the energy they put in every training makes even the players far much better. We have something, of course, that we can produce something ready and something that can be very competitive for the Mapinduzi Cup. That's not a big worry.
I think my coach ni waniu, so kuna kitu coach mwingine pia anataka kwa kwetu sisi. So I think like kila mtu kulingana vile tumepiga tizi, makipote like tunaweza cheza. So ni choice ya coach mwenye atapatiwa chance acheze.
Kwanza unajua kuitwa national team ni dream ya kila msemo anacheza ligi. So mimi nitafeel poa sana nikipata chance. So nitafanya chenye nafanya juu mimi najiamini.
We have a good squad. So I don't think tutatoka hiyo tona bila kitu. So we are going for the trophy and I hope for the best. Mungu atujalie kila kitu iwe in our favor.
And as is the norm, most of the times you will get to see different people, preparing just to cross over to the next year in different forms, of course. Some will be in clubs, some will be in charge, some will be at home. And there's not much of a difference this year. So we have our correspondents in different parts of the country traversing just to get to see what is playing out in these different counties, the different cities of the country. So we begin by crossing over to Nakuru County, where Chichi Josephine is on standby to tell us what's playing out on that end. Chichi Josephine, I don't know whether I should tell you Happy New Year. We're crossing fingers that we're going to be crossing to 2025.
Well, Linda, it should be Happy New Year in advance, but in like 2 hours, we shall be ushering in the new year, that is 2025. But remember, Kenyans have a lot to speak about the year 2024 because they say there's been quite a lot to speak about. So many challenges have been faced in this particular year, and that is why I am here. Remember, currently, Linda, I am right at the famous 7D, where I am here just to see how Kenyans and more especially Nakurians are ushering in the new year, that is 2025. And of course, to tell you is that I've been speaking to several Kenyans and Nakurians. Of course, they have been talking about 2024 and of course saying that one of the years that has been so tough for them is the year 2024, more especially on matters economy and more especially so many matters, political matters, that is. So I am here, I'll be able to speak to Kenyans in regards to this whole thing and tell me probably how has it been for them in the year 2024, and even as we usher in 2025 in some like 2 hours to come, what are some of the expectations that they have? So allow me just talk to you in some few minutes, probably even as we await to usher in the new year, that is 2025. Tell us, how has it been for you in this year that is now that we will be saying goodbye to, that is the year 2024?
I can say for 2024, okay, my name is Felix Mutunga. I can say for 2024 it has been, I can say a tough year, but at the end of the day I can acknowledge some few challenges, more so of the average spending power of the customers, but at the end of the day we cannot complain. about 2024. So as now, as we usher the new year 2025, we are very positive on the same. So we are going to have many clients. We are very positive that we are going to get those high-spending customers. And then in Platinum 7D, we do believe that we are going to cater for your taste and preferences. You understand what I mean?
Maybe politically, what are some of the expectations that you have with the current government, that is Kenya Kwanza government? What do you really expect that are probably areas of improvement, probably when it comes to the year 2025? What are some of your expectations politically?
I can say from my point of view that about the security is going to be beefed up. And also, I think as now we are trying to, as Kenyans, we are going to be comfortable with our Kenya. And then we look for those opportunities, try to embrace on whatever little and those strengths that and the opportunities that we get, try to improve on the same and also work on our negative issues and try to be positive on everything. So we believe we are going to be positive. 2025 it will be a positive year for everyone. We are so much positive about everything.
Probably even as we wait for the next 2 hours, we'll be ushering in the new year. What are some of the magnificent moments that you're waiting for? Maybe the fireworks, or what exactly are you waiting for to usher in?
I can say it's more of the fireworks, a lot of music, a lot of DJs. I can say, I want to repeat again, I say in Platinum 7D, we do cater for your tastes and preferences. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Allow me speak to another one, maybe a Gen Z here. Labda wewe unahisi vipi wakati ambapo tunasubiri tuweze kuvuka mwaka 2024 hadi mwaka 2025?
Tunashukuru sana kwanza. Kwa majina naitwa Hama, nashukuru sana. Tunaomba Mungu aweze kutuvukisha hii mwaka ikuwe salama na 2025 ikuwe na mafanikio mema kuliko hiyo 2024 ambayo imekuwa na mambo mengi sana. Na hiyo nataka tuvuke tuweze kukuja 2025.
Wakati ambapo unasema mwaka umekuwa na mambo mengi, ni kama yepi? Labda mwaka wako wa 2024 umekuwa vipi?
Kwa mfano mambo imekuwa magumu kifedha kama hayo. Yeah. Mwaka
wa 2025 unatarajia nini hasa kisiasa, labda na kiwewe, labda unatarajia nini hasa?
Tunakubali, tunatumaini mambo ikuwe sawa. Mambo yaweze kurudi chini, kama mfano kifedha iweze kupatikana ili vijana pia waweze kupata kazi. Yeah. Kama
kijana, je, hadi sasa kulingana na uongozi tunapopita mwaka wa 2024, je, umetosheleka na kile ambacho kimekuwa kikiendelea katika taifa la Kenya?
Sijatosheleka kabisa. Yeah.
Shida iko wapi?
Shida iko kwa serikali kuu, na tunaomba tafadhali waweze kuangalia vijana na tuweze kukua kama kawaida, ambao kila mtu aweze kuwa sawa. Yeah.
Shukran sana. Nizungumza na Gen Z mwingine. Shukran sana. Nieleze, maybe what are some of the expectations and how has been the year been like for you?
The year has been so good. How are you, by the way? I'm about and you? Okay, the year has been very good. Everything is okay. And welcome to Nakuru 7D. Yeah.
Maybe what are some of the expectations come the year 2025?
Let's say this, we left it to God. Mungu tu atusaidie na atuweke mbele.
Wewe umetosheka na kile ambacho kimekuwa kikiendelea mwaka huu wa 2024?
Mimi nimetosheka na kila kitu tu. Tumekuwa na juu na chini, but I hope next year tutakuwa kuzuri.
Juu na chini inamaanisha nini labda?
Everything will be good. Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. Therefore, Linda, remember those are Nakurians, of course, right here at the 70, of course, expecting to be ushering in the new year in style. And of course, some of them saying they are waiting for the moment where they will be having fireworks maybe around here. And of course, some music. Like I told you, people are streaming right inside 70. And of course, expecting to usher in the new year. We have been, of course, moving around different places. Initially, we were at Afraha Stadium, where, of course, it's a different thing. Remember, Nakurians there, of course, ushering in the new year in worship, unlike here where people are here and, of course, ready to take, or rather to pop champagne, and, of course, expect more even as we usher in the new year. A little bit, Linda, allow me just talk to one. Labda wewe unahisi vipi wakati ambapo tunavuka mwaka 2025?
Mimi nashukuru Mungu, nasema alhamdulillah, mambo iko sawa, si ndio? Tushukuru Mungu, tuombe Mungu mwaka mwingine kwa yafanaka.
Matarajio yako ya mwaka ujao ni yapi?
Ni mengi sana, siwezi fungua roho kwa kamera, lakini iko sawa. Mungu tu ndiye anajua.
Kisiasa uko sawa?
Kisiasa William Samoei Ruto siingie ingine. Bora ameungana na Raila Amolo Odinga, mimi naitwa Joseph Teno Okech. Bora ameungana na Raila Amolo Odinga, wapange mambo.
Therefore, Linda and Koreans are really willing to speak, but we do not have too much time, or rather so much time to talk to them, but I'll be able to probably engage them way later. But that is how the situation here is like here at the 7G that is in Nakuru. Remember, it is a very famous place. And so people are still streaming in, just like I told you. And of course, just outside Nakuru, or that is 7G Nakuru, that is how the situation is. Actually getting a slot to park your car is extremely difficult. So that is how it is. People are still coming in. Remember, everyone is so anxious to usher in the new year. As you can see, that is exactly at the gate where, of course, as you can see, people are still trying to find their way inside the premises. That is the 7D premises. So we are still here waiting to see how things transpires, of course, and of course waiting for the real moment. That is where we shall see how people will be ushering in the new year, of course, with fireworks, music, dancing, and everything. So I am right here, Linda, of course, also waiting to usher in the new year that is come. That is the year 2025, also in style. So allow me hand over back to studio as I also enjoy some music and, of course, wait for the fireworks as we usher in a beautiful 2025. As from me here and my camera person, that is Elud Karanja, we all wish everyone a happy new year, and the entire fraternity, that is TV47 fraternity. Over to you, Linda. My name is Chichi Josephine.
Asante sana Chichi Josephine in one of the recreational facilities that is in Nakuru County. And not far away from there, we have Willie Dennis Jero in Naivasha. Willie, mambo vipi?
Poa sana Linda, tunahesabu masaa mawili aghalabu kuweza kukamilisha mwaka huu. Tunauapa mkono wa buriani na unaenda na hautawahi rudi tena. Bila shaka umekuwa ni mwaka ambao umejaa changamoto chungu nzima kwa wakazi wengi ikiwemo serikali, na ni wakati ambapo sasa tunauaga na tuna matumaini kwamba tunapokaribisha mwaka mpya mambo yatakuwa shwari. Niko katika sehemu hapa inayojulikana kama Party Island. Bila shaka Wakenya wengi kutoka tabaka mbalimbali humu nchini wameweza kufurika katika eneo hili la Naivasha ili kuweza kupata burudani ya aina yake na kuvukisha mwaka kwa njia ile ambayo wanaifahamu kwa njia iliyo bora zaidi. Na tusiweze kusahau kwamba fataki zimeandaliwa kwa aina yake, na basi kupoteza muda, kwanza nimpe nafasi karibia hapa ndugu yangu. Unieleze jina lako na umejiandaa vipi na wale ambao wametembea hapa kuweza kukaribisha mwaka mpya. Jina kwanza.
To all of us, naitwa Emmanuel Ford Mololo. I'm the general manager at the Party Island Lounge. In 2 hours time we're racing to get up for the new year. We want to welcome each and everyone to celebrate with us. Basically Naivasha right now is home away from home. It's only 90 kilometers from Nairobi, 70 kilometers from Nakuru, and we have a lot of revelers who are with us. Our ambience is so good, state of the art lighting, good music, good DJs. I can
see so many people who are already here to welcome the new year in style. In particular, we always have the fireworks. How well prepared is this occasion?
We have some of the best fireworks around Rift Valley. A lot of ballistics. It will be going on at 12 Kamili. So Karibu, it will be a very good spectacle to watch here.
Okay, unlike it has been on the other times, we have very many things happening that are a result of excessive drinking. Maybe what word of caution would you just tell those who are watching you and wish to join others in this celebration?
Right now we are doing an age limit for all our revelers, and we have a lot of non-cabs that will be operating. There is Uber, there is Wasili. We're encouraging all our revelers not to drink and drive. Enjoy safely. We want to see them next year.
Before I let you go, say to everybody in advance, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year everyone watching. Karibu sana Naivasha, the Party Island Lounge.
Asante, wacha tusikie kutoka kwa wengine. Karibia ndugu, jina lako na umekuja kutembea Naivasha. Iko namna gani, unatarajia nini, kumekuwa na changamoto gani na ni yapi ambayo tunatarajia mwaka kesho? Changamka kidogo.
Nimetoka mbali sana. Nimetoka pale huko Nairobi.
Kumekuwa na changamoto bila shaka, ni yapi labda pengine unatarajia wakati mambo imekuwa swali? Asante. Pamoja na asante. Wacha tusikie kutoka kwa mwingine. Dada, karibia hapa. Jina lako, umekuwa vipi mwaka, na yapi ya kusema kwa wale ambao wanakutazama? Karibia karibu kidogo. Na kushikia microphone. Angalia kule.
Naitwa Njeri. Actually my first time kwa hapa.
Umechagua vipi hapa? Wengine wameenda kanisani, umeona ukuje uchangamke hapa, ama huku ndio kuna fataki kanisa? Hakuna fataki,
kila mahali kuna fataki. Kingi kabisa. Mahali kila mtu anataka kuwa hivi.
Haya, asante. Wacha tusikie kutoka kwa mwingine. Ndugu.
Yes. Kwa majina naitwa kutoka huko naona kuja tu hapa Iran pate shughuli celebrate New Year, tupige sherehe tu mwaka ukipanda.
Asante mwenzangu. Producer wangu Teni ananiambia hakuna muda, lakini ndugu, karibia kidogo tu. Jina lako, mwaka umekuwa vipi, una yapi ya kusherehekea, utasema nini kwa wale ambao wanakutazama?
Jina langu ni Christian Bin Naivasha. Mwaka umekuwa mwema, ingawa changamoto zimekuwa nyingi, lakini tunashukuru Mungu. 367 days is not easy. Thank you to God. Tunavuka mwaka, we want to wish everybody a happy new year and more so to our country. Tunaombea mambo mema.
Asante sana, nashukuru kwa muda wako na wale watu ambao wameweza kuzungumza. Linda, that is it from this part of Naivasha, and we must let know of our viewers that wherever we are, from all our management up to the least of the people in the list, we all wish our viewers a happy and prosperous 2025. We will be doing unlike we have done it before. For the whole year of 2024, we wish to scale up to our viewers in the best that we can be able to put off forward to ensure that we bring you all news, all entertainment from across the regions. That is it from me here, and to you Linda, and to Terry and all kikosi yote. Happy new year in advance, kwa sababu ikifika sitakuwa na nyinyi hewani. Kesho tutakuwa tukiwaambia kulienda vipi. Linda, chukua usikani.
Please make sure to keep safe. That is Willie Dennis Njeru, all the way from Naivasha. We appreciate you, and Chichi as well, for the incredible job that you have done all year round. And now let's come back to the city under the sun, that is Nairobi. Paul Kirobi on standby to tell us what's playing out. Paul, if you can hear me.
Naam, sodata kabisa Linda Alela, ukiwa katika upande wa pili wa studio. Tunakujia mubashara kutoka katikati ya jiji kuu la Nairobi CBD, hasa eneo ambalo linafahamika sana na wengi, eneo la Archives, ambapo mamia ya watu wamekusanyika hapa wakisubiri tu mwendo wa saa 6 kuweza kufika, ndiposa waweze kurusha baruti na kufurahia mbwembwe, shangwe na vigelegele katika kukaribisha mwaka 2025. Labda kukujuza tu baadhi ya mataifa, hasa visiwa vya Kiritimati ambayo inapatikana maeneo ya Central Pacific Ocean, pamoja na Kiritibati ambayo pia inapatikana maeneo hayo, walikuwa wamekaribisha mwaka mpya, mwaka 2025, mwendo wa saa 6 saa 7 hivi. Na katika mataifa mengine ya New Zealand pia yaliweza kukaribisha mwaka mpya. Ukilinganisha saa za Afrika Mashariki, East African Time, pamoja na muda wa eneo la New Zealand, imewachiana kama takriban lisali 7-8 hivi, kumaanisha kwamba
hapa nchini Kenya tunahesabu kama lisali 4 zinazokuja kuanzia sasa hivi mwendo wa saa 3 hadi mwendo wa saa 6, ambapo Wakenya katika maeneo mbalimbali ya nchi katika kaunti zote 47 watakuwa na kusanyika katika maeneo mbalimbali katika kukaribisha mwaka mpya. Kuna wale ambao watakuwa wanakaribisha mwaka mpya katikati ya jiji kuu la Nairobi. Kama unavyosikiliza upande wa nyuma ni kelele tu za baruti ama sauti ya baruti ambazo zinarushwa kule angani na kuweza kulipuka. Hii ni ishara tosha kwamba vijana wanajitayarisha mbele ya kuvuka mwaka 2025 katika maeneo tofauti tofauti. Tumeweza kuzuru baadhi ya maduka ambayo yanauza zile ambayo tunasema ni baruti, na foleni ni kubwa sana. Kumjuza tu yule mtazamaji wetu, foleni ni kubwa sana. Manake kutakuwa na mbwembwe, vigelegele na nderemo katika maeneo mbalimbali ikiwemo madhehebu, vilabu pamoja na katikati ya jiji kuu la Nairobi na majengo tofauti tofauti, hasa katika jiji kuu la Nairobi ambalo linafahamika duniani nzima. Labda tu niweze kuzungumza na baadhi ya vijana ambao tayari tumeona wamekuwa katikati ya jiji kuu la Nairobi, eneo la Archives, kuanzia mwendo wa saa 12. Labda kijana, tueleze jina lako nani na mbona umekuwa ukipiga kambi hapa Archives, na unatarajia kukaribisha mwaka mpya namna gani, na utakuwa eneo lipi hasa?
So kwa majina naitwa Kevin, natoka Buruburu. So nimekuja leo ili tuweze kusherehekea mwaka mpya. Unajua mwaka mpya mambo mapya. Tumekusanyika umati hapa ili tuende club, tupige sherehe club. Ndio tuone tu next year venye itakuwa, juu mwaka imekuwa na changamoto mingi sana.
Na mwaka mpya mwaka 2024 imekuwa namna gani?
Ilikuwa mwaka wa changamoto sana, uchumi iko juu, abductions against sisi mayouth. Yaani maisha ilikuwa ngumu, lakini tunashukuru Mungu tuko hai mpaka sasa.
Asante sana. Labda niweze kusikiliza pia kutoka kwa kijana mwingine hapa. Njoo kijana, utueleze mwaka mpya mwendo wa saa 6 utakuwa eneo lipi na utakuwa karibisha mwaka 2025 namna gani siku ya leo?
Kwa kwanza mwaka wangu unaanzia pale Kasarani. Kuna pati tunaenda pale Kasarani, hapo ndipo tunavukishia mwaka. Tunatarajia mazuri hii 2025. So ile mambo hii mwaka imekuwa kama ya kulani. Mambo tumepata mingi, but tumelearn, tuna hope for the best 2025. Hivyo pekee tuna hope for the best, kulekembisha ile mistake tumepata, hivyo pekee. Mwaka 25 tunajua itakuwa poa.
Naam, asante sana kaka. Naam, bila shaka ni kauli tu za baadhi ya vijana ambao wamefika hapa katika eneo la Archives, ambao wanajitayarisha ifikapo mwendo wa saa 6 kama jinsi ambavyo wamesema, ni kwamba watakuwa katika maeneo ya burudani kuweza kukaribisha mwaka 2025, na wengi wanatarajia kwamba mwaka mpya utakuja na mazuri yake. Naam, kufikia hapo Linda Alela, mie sina la ziada. Tutakuwa tunatua katika maeneo tofauti tofauti ya jiji na kuwajuza tu watazamaji wetu jinsi ambavyo Wakenya watakuwa wanakaribisha mwaka 2025. Kwako studioni.
All right, thank you so much, Paul Kirubi, as well, for a job well done. Happy New Year to you once you get to that level. And I hope the three of you can keep safe wherever it is that you are, even as we're about to say Kwaheri. But it's important that we also take a look at what is in the other parts of the world. Let's take a look at Australia. And we cross over to Hong Kong. Oh, what a year it has been. The laughter, the fun, the thrill, the tough times, the beautiful times. We all wrap them up and we look forward to a beautiful, beautiful 2025. What more can we say? But to wish you nothing but the best, even as you prepare to cross over to the next year. We here at TV47 remain hopeful that indeed we'll always meet your expectations in terms of giving you the best of a broadcast, and of course not forgetting the best of Radio 47, an experience like no other. We continue to stay true as the home of untold stories, as we look forward to you, or for you to ensure that you constantly remain loyal to us, even as you help us make those beautiful stories for you. We have to say kwaheri at this very point. If you are headed to a recreational facility, if you're headed to church, if you're going to do it at home, we make sure that we are safe in whatever capacity. And of course, we'll also leave you with the service from All Saints Cathedral. We'll be having them live all the way to that moment where we cross the year 2024 to 2025 at exactly 12 a.m. East African time. My name is Linda Alela. I love you all, and I'm looking forward to see you next year. Of course, I've been doing this alongside my team, the entire team we appreciate, from the editorial beat all the way to this other side. EX, of course, the graphics team, and everybody else that has made the broadcast a success. We appreciate our sign language interpreter, Rhoda Nyamai, and we say that it is a wrap. Do have yourself a lovely, lovely night. Bye-bye.